let's send it down to Mark.
George, thank you, as always. Joined by Ryan Polzin, a very interesting week for you. We know you're such a good player. Your club, of course, Oak Hills Country Club, San Antonio, Texas. Who's caddying for you this week?
I've got my son, Brody, with me, and it's been a great week so far, and looking forward to one more round, hopefully, continuing on after that. So.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Listen, we know what a good player you are. Always windy down here in Port St. Lucie. You're a Texas boy, always windy. I've given you, well, not I've given you, you're a right-handed golfer. We've got a wind blowing from the left, a very difficult shot for many people, left to right tee shot. Talk me through how such an experienced player as you would deal with a left to right wind shot. Would you let it ride the wind? Would you turn it into the wind? When do you do each of those?
Sure, I mean, depending on, what I need out of the shot, if I'm hitting into the green and, I'm going to try to turn it into the wind to knock it down. If I'm going to try to maximize distance, I'm going to try to ride the wind. But, no matter what, when you've got that wind coming off your back at such a strong gale like it is right now, biggest importance is this right hip opening up enough to where the club can shallow. And I see a lot of guys into the wind, play the ball back, get the shaft forward and get real steep and just drive that backspin up and it just balloons. I like to see players, and when I'm teaching in heavy winds, we really work on, no divot draws. And with the golf ball today, the shallower your attack, you can keep the spin levels down and keep the flight to where in a lot of winds, it's not going to affect so much how much the ball descends. So, with this wind, out here, there's a lot of placement. So I had a couple of these today that I actually tried to turn into the wind to keep from, going too far or riding it into trouble. So my biggest thought was, like I said, I'm going to try to really open my right hip to where I've got all this room now for the club to shallow, where I can release it and turn it back into the wind.
Well, let's see that. It sounds good. And it does good. I mean, that held very nicely into the wind. Just one thing, actually, before we let you go. You did say if you're going to maximize distance, you would let it ride the wind. So for some of the viewers who might be watching this, just talk about why that maximizes the distance.
Sure. If I can let the ball tilt with the wind, it's gonna stay in there longer versus when you're turning it in, it's gonna knock it down. So, if I was gonna ride the wind versus try to draw it back into the wind, I'm just not gonna release the club as much. I'm gonna just try to hold it a little more open, but I still want this right hip to clear enough to where the club can come in from a shallow angle to where I won't pull it and
yeah, that would be an absolute beauty. Ryan, thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck to you and your boy in the next 3 rounds.
That's right.
Let's make it 3 rounds. Let's look forward to seeing you at Clear Island. George, back up to you.
Thank you.